Hi, I'm Diane McGarry with Drake at Arts. With me today, our co-host Tom McGarry, Marcus Santos of Grooversity Boston, and ASL interpreter Connie. Grooversity Boston has a special sound and energy inspired by Marcus's hometown, Bahia, Brazil, and I hope I pronounced that right. The drumming enables the ensemble melts world rhythms like West African cuckoo, Brazilian zamba, Japanese taiko, American funk, and hip hop into a highly energetic and engaging show. Montreal Drum Fest said, "You are about to witness an ensemble that has been applauded by fans worldwide." Aaron Siegel of Carnegie Hall said, "I've never seen people as engaged and as excited as they were." So tell me about growing up in Brazil and bringing this music here.
Well, before anything, I like to start with gratitude, and I appreciate you so much, Diane, Tom, Connie. Thank you for inviting me and being here. I really appreciate and letting me speak a little bit about this project that we've been driving for quite a while. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so growing up in Brazil, so I'm from Salvador, as you said, and it was the first capital of Brazil, and the harbor, the place where a lot of Africans were forced to go. It's a very sad moment, I think, in our human history. But on the other side, today we can actually enjoy, in a way, their efforts to survive, their efforts to build, to continue building their sense of humanity through music, through dance, and that suffering and that resilience, that resilient process that happened back in the 15, 16, 17, and even 1800s resulted in a beautiful society, it resulted in creating a beautiful society and a community that we live, that I experienced growing up in Salvador. But to summarize what I just said, it's known to Salvador is known to be, the state of Bahia actually is known to be Africa outside of Africa. There is no other place outside of Africa with more African descendants than in the state of Bahia, except so in fact, if you take out Nigeria of Africa, there are more African descendants in my home state than in the entire continent of Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is very, very notorious, if I may use that word. When you walk in the streets, you hear drumming is just part of life, drum and music, and so I grew up surrounded by that, and then decided, okay, if I want to take this art form seriously, I have to be as the best version I can be, and I need to study this. So the streets were a great foundation to begin that educational process, which later on finished actually here in Boston. Finished? No, we're still learning, right?
Right. You're not done yet, right? People ask me, I'm not done. I've got a lot more to go. So you moved to Boston to study music?
Yes. So luckily, Berkeley College of Music, they have this thing called World Scholarship Tour, which they actually travel to countries auditioning folks. And I was lucky enough to be able to get a scholarship, and because I'll never be able to afford for sure to move to America. So if it wasn't for that little miracle that happened, I wouldn't be able to fulfill this dream, in which just get as educated as I possibly can in the art of drumming. Yeah.
I'm glad that you were able to do that. So can you talk a little bit about the different styles of drumming?
From Brazil,
The
right?
ones that we'll be using, because I listed all these styles and I'm not familiar with all of them. I don't know if other people are.
Oh, okay. So yeah, in our blurb, we showcase a few of the inspirations. So basically, we created something called the Grooversity curriculum, which is a series of rhythms that use the backbone of Brazilian drumming, but influenced by rhythms from different cultures and countries, and and then we shaped our own style per se. Uh, but we are using as the backbone. I guess we're using something that is called the music of Blocus Afro, Afro Blocus, and it's something that it's in an ensemble basically of drums that are rooted. They have European roots, interestingly enough, but so they are used in samba schools in samba performances, but the difference is that the patterns are more, they have more of an African, West African, I should say, influence. So that's, and also Caribbean, I should include. So that's more or less the, I hope I'm making sense, but that's
Yeah.
more or less the backbone of the rhythmic tree that we built.
Hmm. So, let's see. So you pull in Japanese and African and hip hop and other types of drumming into your Grooversity, and you've created your own sound that way.
we, well, I wouldn't say our own sound because it's still very rooted in the groups of my home, from my hometown, but we created our own arrangements per se.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the mission of Grooversity?
Well, okay. Also, check this out. This is super cool. So the mission then, we're not reinventing the wheel. Like as I mentioned, that we are using the influence of the Blocos Afro from my hometown, and Blocos Afro often in my hometown are associated with social missions, and so it depends on each drumming group, which is in a particular neighborhood of the town, have their own social mission. So what we did here in the United States, and eventually we're lucky to spread it to other countries, was that we decided to, okay, how can we positively impact? How can we use the drumming as catalyst to attract people, and then use that common workforce, those folks, to make a difference in our community here, and then so that's how I got involved working with the youth of Somerville, Boston area in Massachusetts, and so basically we're trying to bring, especially to the Brazilian students, but to anyone, but especially to the Brazilian students that sometimes don't have a chance to go to Brazil. So we're trying to bring a little piece of Brazil to them, and folks got excited in other cities, and they started calling, hey, would like to learn the Grooversity curriculum, can you visit our town? It's like, oh, I have even better news. I can visit your town, share the curriculum, but I would like also to bring you into our network, our family of drumming groups. And with that said, then let's say the only thing I ask back is that you choose a social mission, you choose a way to positively impact your community that makes sense to your community, instead of saying like, this is how we do it here and this is how we should do it there. So
Yeah.
different groups have different missions. Yes.
So what, can you give us an idea of what some of the missions are? Like, we've talked to people, for instance, who are involved with End 6 to 8 Hours of Hunger or similar groups like that. What types of missions do your Grooversities have?
Yeah, so well, the other groups are, so this group here is called Grooversity Boston, but the other groups have different names. They are part of our Grooversity network. So the group from New York City, for example, it's called Fogo Azul, and they are very involved with the LGBTQ plus initiatives. That's one example. So over here, I mentioned that we are involved with, we're mostly involved with immigrant issues, especially involving youngsters. What else? Let me pick one more. What if we go to we can go to Colorado?
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
Flagstaff. Oh, sorry. Fort Collins, Colorado. They so they do something super cool. Like I think every first Friday, once a month, they play in a particular area of their town, and then they ask for donations, and then they switch their donations to different causes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool. And Grooversity Boston uses the initiative to go in and help the students in schools, right? In Somerville.
Correct. Yes. So I do work at Somerville High School and Watertown High School, but we also are part affiliated with Young Audiences of Massachusetts, and then so we do over 50 cultural shows all over the state, especially when it gets a little further from the urban areas. I feel like it's what we are doing. Can I say it doesn't sound humble? Let me find the right words. I just feel it's very important. What we're doing is very important to bring that little piece of diversity to these areas. I hope it didn't come out.
No. It's very important to bring diversity everywhere. So I have a few pictures of you guys. Here's
Oh,
one
cool.
on the Facebook page, and people are holding their drums over their head. So cool.
They're losing their heads. Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
much energy in that. There's so much.
Yeah, thank you. It is super fun. On another token, because I was able to be the recipient of a little miracle to go to attend the best school of contemporary music in the world, a lot of the folks that you're seeing in this photo are Berkeley students. So another mission that we have is to also provide this outside of the school bubble experience for Berkeley students too. Yeah. So we like the student energy.
Here's another wonderful photo.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we miss her. Well, the downside of what I just said is that they graduate and they move away. So she's actually in New York now. That's Isabelle, and I like this photo a lot. That was at Bingtown Jazz Festival, and I like this photo a lot because it shows a little bit of the diversity that we have. So to the girl to Isabel's right, she's from South Africa. That's right. Yeah, she's from South Africa. Yes, yes. And the other folks I think are from America. The person behind Isabel is from the Netherlands. Isabelle.
So you have a lot of diversity in your group, which is wonderful.
And well, that's great. And the name Grooversity actually comes from groove and diversity. Most people associate with groove and university, but it's yeah.
I was thinking groovy actually when I saw it, to be honest with you. That's what came to my head.
Great. It works too. Hey, hopefully we're making people dance. They feel the groove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what people would expect when they come?
To the project, they get involved.
The show, what they should expect when they come to the show.
Oh, they should expect high energy. They should expect a lot of dancing, a lot of requests that people get as involved as possible. So we try to bring interactiveness. Is that a word? Interactiveness?
Sure, or interactivity, but the interactivity certainly communicates it.
Yeah, so we try to interact with the audience as much as possible, especially since, it's basically drums and vocals. That's the raw traditional drumming, the way that this type of drumming is done in my hometown. It has evolved, So the guitars and bass guitars, drum sets, keyboards, horns, they have been incorporated into this Blocos Afro style, but the traditional original formation did not include any harmonic or melodic instrument. It was basically drums and voice. And often the lyrics of this Blocos Afro were lyrics either protesting but were lyrics to with messages of echoing the words of Dr. Martin Luther King of social equity.
That
I
is
miss those
cool.
guys. Thank you. I miss them so much. Yeah. So another part of the mission that I didn't mention earlier is that a lot of our musicians are Berkeley students. It was is a way of saying thanks to the universe for allowing me to come here and study in the best school of contemporary music in the world. So I try to actually pay it back and give this opportunity for them to perform outside the Berkeley bubble and have a little bit of a real life experience as professional musicians. Yeah, so just to give credit to them, that was Bas and Rafa. They moved to Los Angeles now, and I think they are roommates. And the girls, Jazz and she, moved back to London.
Oh.
Very, very neat.
Can you tell us a little bit about the rhythm that was being used in that piece?
Sure. And then so in that particular piece, we wanted to tweak the traditional rhythms from Salvador. So what we did was like we played the traditional stuff, but we changed to an odd meter context. So traditional music that you heard is usually played in 4/4 for the music geeks, but that first part was in 5/4 and the second part was in 7/8. So that was our way of trying to make it a little fresh. And it's funny because we did that, as you saw in the video, 7 years ago. And just last year, now in my hometown, you are starting to see folks playing more and more stuff in odd meters in the streets. You know, so it's quite interesting to and refreshing to see that you know we were doing something a little bit ahead of the time.
Yeah.
But now it's all the same. Now it's not normalized.
And everybody really looks like they're having fun.
Yes, yes, they do. So I also noticed that there's 3 different types of drumsticks you have, and then you have a cymbal that has holes in it, which I've never seen before. I don't think I'd see one of those at the BSO. So why does this cymbal have holes in it?
Well, I was just looking for a sound that is a little more street, more raw, and I think that particular symbol gives that as if you are hitting a trash can type of sound, and also allows, because it's a little thinner, allows to hit with your hand instead of the stick.
That's interesting. It's really neat. I mean, I love coming across new instruments because there's so much creativity in making different sounds, and of course you have to make different instruments to get new sounds. We forget, we think that the piano and the violin have been here for forever, and they've been here for many centuries, but there was a beginning to them.
For sure. Yeah.
I think drums are one of the oldest instruments, aren't they?
You said percussion, right?
Yeah, well, drums in particular.
Yeah, I would guess. I wish I was more versed on this, but I would guess so. Especially if you consider our bodies as a percussion instrument. I'm sure before we were even able to communicate the way we are doing now, they were probably using sounds to express their message. So if you take that in consideration, I would say that's probably percussion. Percussion is definitely one of the first instruments. Yeah, I heard something. So I teach at Middlesex Community College, and I asked my students to as their final project to write about any type of drumming that they appreciate. So I want them to write a paper that they want to write. And one student last semester wrote about the way that chimpanzees were communicating to different areas using the tree roots and drum and playing on it. So that's how they would pass, because if you hit the root of the tree, the reverberation of the sound will travel longer.
Wow.
Fascinating. It's like never heard of it. Yeah.
I mean, you say that, and we think of the people in the Alps, right, with those really long horns going across the mountaintops, or the yodeling that they used to put through tree roots. That is incredible. Incredible.
Quite interesting. To this day, I hear also that communications among some tribes in Africa, it is still done by drum announcements.
Mm.
I had a chance to see a friend, and I'm blinking out his name now. That's too bad. Have you guys watched Black Panther, the movie?
Yeah.
So if you hear that sound, actually have the drum here. It's downstairs. But anyway, I'll describe. I'll describe. I apologize. So it's a talking drum. It's also called tama, and you play a note, boom, and then you change the pitch by
Oh,
pressing the strings around the body.
yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah.
And then so you have a chance to so apparently he's from he is from he is from Senegal. Yes, and then he came to visit Somerville High School, and I asked him, hey, can you demonstrate how? Oh, by the way, the reason why I'm telling him, and he's the one that you can hear in the Black Panther soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once you hear that type of, it's his drum. So I asked him to demonstrate, like, and I asked, this is still used in Senegal, and yes, this is still used. This is how we say the king is coming, and then he played the pattern. So basically, in the morning, somebody would walk around and say, the king is going to talk today, and he would walk around and try to unveil that message. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah,
Very cool. Yeah.
that's great. That's more fun than getting a text message, I must say.
More eco-friendly.
Today.
Yeah. It saves the planet too.
There is that. There is that. That is so cool. Okay, so more of you.
Yeah. Oh, this party is so fun for the folks that live near Boston. This is Somerville's River Fest. We've been doing for almost a decade. They have fireworks every year at the very end of the summer. This is in the last. This is the beginning of September, and it's always a blast. 10,000 people attended. Oh, it's so much fun. So if you guys are around, like, yeah, please visit our social media, and then we'll post something about the River Fest in Somerville, Massachusetts.
Sure.
Oh, cool.
I can't get back to the other sample that I wanted to play, but I'm very excited about you joining us. It's gonna
Yeah.
be
Oh boy.
Thank you. We are super psyched too. We're a little bit scared in a way, because that will be our third opportunity to play since Christmas.
Oh my
So
gosh.
so hopefully we'll be well lubricated. The joints will be lubricated by the time.
Oh, no, you'll be fine. You'll be great. I know you will.
Thank you. It'll be fun.
So it's been fun, and it's been great talking with you, Marcus. Thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to you and your Grooversity's performance on our March Arts Saturday. For more information, please go to our website, drakeItarts.com. We'd also like to thank our many sponsors for making these programs possible, especially the Massachusetts Cultural Council grants, as administered by Concord, Drake It, Westford, and Wilmington Cultural Councils. If you'd like to be a sponsor, please email us at drakeItarts@gmail.com or visit our website, drakeItarts.com. For more information about our Arts Saturdays and other programs, please go to drakeItarts.com.